name's Paula Routledge and I'm a demonstrator for the North Midlands area of Nafas. I'm also a horticulturist and we grow so many cut flowers at home. I wanted to share with you what we're harvesting at the moment. I'm harvesting the flowers that we grow for drying so that I can use them in floral designs throughout the winter. And one of the stems that we're cutting at the moment is these gorgeous Molecella Labis, which of course is otherwise known as Bells of Ireland. Now that's a fantastically branched stem, isn't it? To pick them, you have to make sure that these beautiful green bracts are fully open. And the best time I find, I don't know if you can see in those bracts, the seed heads, the seeds are just forming there. And if they've gone already black or brown, you've left it too late really. They don't really hold if you pick them for drying. So whilst they're still in that green state, it's the best time to pick them. And of course, you must pick on a dry day, and we've had some fab weather, haven't we, just recently, and all the bracts are fully open, so it's perfect time for harvesting these. We'll just air dry them mostly. I've got a lovely cool airy workshop that's not too bright so the sun doesn't get in there much, because of course the sun just bleached the stems, so it's ideal. And I'll just hang this one, I'll just hang up as it is. But if the stems were just single stems, I'd probably only put about 5 stems together, just to make sure there's enough airflow around and to prevent any mould setting in. But hopefully if you pick them on a dry day and you've taken off all these little leaves that you can see, because they just wither away, they should be fine. So very easy to air dry. Of course, we also glycerine them, and to do this you must condition them first well, so they must be drinking well before you put them into the glycerine solution. And the solution is 2 parts boiling water and 1 part glycerine. Glycerine's heavier than water, so if you didn't use boiling water, you'll struggle to make the solution. But of course, let it cool down before you put your stems in, and you'll see if they're conditioned well, you'll see them take the glycerine up. You'll just see a change in colour amongst the bracts, and when it gets to the top, you know that they're ready. And they glycerine this beautiful golden colour, so really useful for floral designs during the winter. Another traditional dried flower is of course the lovely vibrant statice, and I like to pick my statice in bunches so that when I need it, I'm not upsetting a mixed bunch. And ideally, I've used paper covered wire here because I've not got any elastic bands. Elastic bands are better because when you hang them up, they'll shrink as they dry, and you might end up with them on the floor in the workshop. So, but I'll just keep an eye on these and I'll keep tightening up the strings. So again, not too many stems, just make sure there's enough airflow throughout the stems when you hang them up, and you can hear them when they're ready. They rustle like straw. Speaking of straw, this is the straw flower, or Helichrysum. I don't harvest this on its stem because the stem just withers and looks really sorry for itself. I just literally go out into the cutting garden and pick the heads each day as they come, and the more I pick them, the more they come, so it's great. And the best time to pick those, the best stage of flower, you have to keep an eye on them every day. So just more or less, I will find one in a second. There you go. There's one that I've just picked. And if you can see, it's quite tight in the middle, and then it's got some open petals, probably 2 rows of open petals surrounding the middle. That's the best time to get them. If you leave it so they're just starting to open, which is that one, it looks nice now, but it'll just fold back on itself eventually, like that one is, and go a funny shape. It'll fold back on itself and it'll just shatter. So just watch them every day. I've got a few stems of lavender in here. This is Lavender Vera. That's also very nice for drying. The best time though to pick lavender, and I like to pick them, I think I've missed the boat a bit with these because they're quite open. The best time really is when you've got a few of the lavender not opened at the bottom, but further up the stem, they're open. And that's the best the best time to pick them. These may have gone too far, but I'll take them into the workshop anyway. And I do like the darker colours, really, like the Munstead. That tends to keep its colour really, really well. So we've already got the Alliums in. Alliums are fab for drying. The Allium seed heads, of course, and there's so many different varieties of Alliums. We grow about 10 varieties in our garden. This is a great one. This is Allium Christophii, quite a big seed head, really nice and open, so it just dries quite well. And this, of course, the fabulous Allium Schubertii, sorry, Allium Schubertii. Isn't it fabulous? Now, this is sprayed silver and actually has been to Blackpool and back in a competition. So it's still going strong, still looks good. They can last for years and years. Another one that's really, it's a late flower. We're in August at the moment, and these stand in the garden, about 6 foot high they are in the garden, and it's called Allium Summer Drummer. And it's a perfect form. It's very dense, but it literally dries. Soon, I've just picked this, and it will just go dry into a vase, and it will just dry naturally on its own. And then, of course, you can colour them up if you want to in the winter. And we mustn't forget the lovely Amaranthus, another great one for drying. We grow both colours, the purple and the green, but they both dry the same colour. Again, they dry a nice golden colour, which adds a different texture into your designs in the winter. I do love them. But again, like the Molecella, just take off all these leaves because they will be the first things to go. And I was quite excited today because this is the first time I've grown my own Craspedia. I've used it loads and loads of times in competitions and demonstrations. And so pleased, but I haven't got enough. I've probably only got about 10 heads. So next year, now I know that it'll survive on our soil, I'll get some more seed and I'll grow some more of that, because Craspedia is so useful, especially as nowadays we're trying to use less foam, and so a lot of the structures sort of lend themselves to gluing flowers on. So the dried Helichrysum, they could just be glued onto a design to add a different pop of colour or a different texture on there. I love that sound of the straw. You can't actually mistake it, can you? So there's so many other flowers, of course. I even like collecting just simple sunflower heads without their petals, and they can just look very textural, worked into designs. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and it's inspired you maybe to go out into the garden to see what you can forage before the weather turns cold and the damp sets in. So let's enjoy the rest of the summer, but think about the winter and all the things that we can get from the garden to remind us how fabulous the summer months can be.